All right, you guys, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Put a one in the chat if you guys can hear me. Put a one in the chat if you guys can hear me and see me as well. Put a one in the chat if you guys can hear me and see me as well. We're going to wait for her to show up. Just like last time, the dude DM'd me. He said debate, and he never showed up. So we'll see. Okay, I appreciate that. Appreciate that. What's going on? Keep up the good work. Appreciate that, Landon. Appreciate everybody being here. So basically, this one girl, she hit me up on Instagram. What I do is I post little shorts or reels on Instagram, and in the comment section, I'll pin a comment that says, "If you disagree with what I say, then go ahead and shoot me a DM, say debate, and then we'll go ahead and set it up." So she hit me in the DM. She said debate. She said there was things that I'm leaving out or something that basically she's trying to say I'm not educated from what I saw from her DM. And so basically she was like, yeah, let's set it up. She even hit me up earlier today. She was like 10 p.m. I was like, yep, 10 p.m. Let's get it. So let me see. Let me try to see if she's still gonna pull up. They never do for real, but maybe she's just late. And what I should do is share the DM too, let you guys see that so you guys know I'm not capping. So, okay, what do you guys think? She ain't gonna pull up. I was just about to ask you guys that. You two need to stop blocking your content. They don't want you to reach the masses. Exactly, bro. I've been being blocked for many, many years now. Like, realistically, I'm not trying to say anything to try to like make myself seem better than I actually am, because in the past I've made bad content. I used to do skits and music videos and like comedy stuff, and that it wasn't good content. I'm not gonna lie to you. But every time I post content now, people always tell me, yo, bro, like, why aren't you at a million yet? Why aren't you at this number yet? And it's because a lot of my content is being suppressed. And it's been like this for many, many years, bro. It's honestly crazy. But the thing is, if Black women, actually start listening to my content and start realizing that their natural hair is the best thing for them to wear. Oh, okay. So it looks like, hold on, she actually did show up. So let me go ahead and bring her up really quick. All right.
Hi.
What's going on? How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm
Can
doing.
you hear me?
I can. Chat, can you guys hear her? Chat, put a one in the chat if you guys can hear her and see her as well. So to get started, let the people know your name, your age, and what you disagree with, or what did you want to debate about
Okay.
exactly?
Okay, first of all, hello. Good evening. I
Okay.
hope you're having a good time.
You
Thank
as
you for
well.
waiting for me. My name is Hope Crawford. I'm 26, and I mean, really, there's not one specific initial piece of information that I have an issue with as much as just the overall understanding of really Black culture in America, specifically, obviously, the take on hair. I mean, that's what we're here for, am I right? So,
Yes.
um, watching some of your videos, I can understand your standpoint in certain areas, but I think overall there might be like a little bit of a misdirection as far as like where this first started. Um, can I continue? I
Yes, go
mean,
ahead.
okay, great. So I think really like the center question is when and why did Black women, specifically Black women in America, start altering their appearance, specifically their hair?
Mm-hmm.
and how that initial conception has morphed and changed into what it is today. So you've brought up multiple times that Black women initially started straightening their hair because of a European centered beauty standard that was pushed on them.
Right.
Right. I can see that to an extent. Obviously, that was the case. There's no denying that that European centered beauty standard had a big impact on Black culture in America since we got
Mm-hmm.
off the freaking boat. Like, for sure. I don't disagree there. But there's multiple situations of initial areas of oppression that we've experienced and just people in general have experienced that through time have become more of like a center culture. It has been taken and morphed and changed. And so I think that a lot of the hair practices we see today, while their roots might partially be in oppression, have now become more of like an area of creative expression, of just again, culture. It does tie us back to like our past. I'm going to
So
keep going. One more thing.
one more thing. Okay, go ahead.
You like my hair?
Yeah, your hair looks
Okay.
nice.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what do you think? Would you agree
Oh,
with
oh,
that?
that was your okay. I thought you had one more point to make.
No, my
Okay.
one more point was like my hair.
Oh yeah,
I
your hair
like
looks nice. I definitely always appreciate natural hair.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so let me ask you a question. So you're basically saying, even though Black women were kind of forced in the beginning to wear European hairstyles, now you think it's okay for them to wear wigs, weaves, and straight hair because they integrated that into Black culture. Is that what you're saying?
Basically, yes. I will say that I do think even if there wasn't that initial influence, I think now, especially with how so many different races straighten, curl, whatever their hair, I think we would still be doing that. Probably not
Hmm.
as much. Probably not as much, but I mean, we can tie straightening hair and wigs back to the Egyptians, you know? Like it's not just it can't exclusively be because of a European influence. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, but okay, show me where Egyptians were straightening their hair like Black women do it today and wearing straight hair wigs like white women's hair. Because I know Egyptians did wear wigs, but they didn't wear wigs that were 613 Brazilian blonde wig bust downs. They didn't do anything like that. So can you show me any where they did stuff like this?
No, and I can agree with you on that statement that
Right?
obviously the wigs that Egyptians wore did not resemble a lot of the wigs that we wear today. I can agree with that. But I think drawing the connection between long straight hair that Black women sometimes wear directly to like wanting to resemble a white woman is false. Sure, maybe sometimes, even in the modern world, there's like a girl sitting in her room thinking, oh my gosh, like she's so beautiful. This white girl with straight hair, I wish I had it. And that's why I'm gonna like put my hair in this way. I can see that in some cases, but I don't see it with a lot of Black women or women of any race when we change our hair or wear a different style.
So I agree with you there a little bit. I think consciously Black women are not putting on wigs or straightening their hair because they want to be like a white woman. But subconsciously that is exactly what they're doing because like what we were saying earlier, if we never came in contact with Europeans, Black women would not be straightening their hair. Black people had tons of braided hairstyles that they did that were cultural to them. But one thing we weren't doing was straightening our hair as Black people at all. So if Black women never saw like a white person on their TV screen and blonde white girls on their TV screen,
Sorry.
no, you're fine.
Atlas.
Black women would not be doing that because who else would a Black woman get that from?
That is a good point. Atlas, That is a good point.
Right.
Um, I would ask the same question back to you in like a metaphor for body hair. Um, hear me out, okay? Don't make that face. Hear me out.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Um, body hair and curling hair. I mean, I don't think that I see a lot of people curl their hair all the time. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty common. And I don't think it's necessarily because it's been like shoved in their face. So I think the same thing can be true for Black women straightening their hair. Like when I straighten my hair, it's not necessarily because I, for all of those reasons, it's just because I think it is pretty. I mean, there's like a universal beauty standard that I think is becoming more of a thing where curly hair can be beautiful, white hair can be beautiful, black hair can be beautiful, and we can kind of like embrace all of them. Um, yeah, I think especially when you talk to some women who do wear wigs occasionally or all the time, depending on what their preferences are, um, we can acknowledge those biases, but they might not actually be affecting us as much as we think nowadays.
So what was your point that you were trying to make about body hair?
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, the initial reason that women began shaving was because a lot of big companies back in like the 1920s, I want to say 30s,
Mm-hmm.
had like razors that they were selling to men for their facial hair. They wanted to expand their market, so they extended that to women as well, their body hair. And women were coerced into thinking that the natural hair that grows on their body is gross and disgusting, and Susie down the street looks so much more beautiful with her clean shaven legs.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously not the cutest thing, feels like oppression to women, etc., etc. Some people say that being bald or nude in the body is like a child, like you're trying to be like a child. That's not the
Okay.
case at all. In the same way that I think even though something similar to body hair, such as straightening your hair, can start in like that tumultuous, weird, oppressive state, it doesn't have to be that. Like, for example, I shave, a lot of women shave, and now I view it more as like a personal choice. Like, I can go out with my legs unshaven and I don't have a problem with it, in the same way that some days I'm like, yeah, I want to shave. I think that I'm being so
Wait.
clear with you right now. Do you
So your legs be looking like my chin hair, like
maybe not that much. I don't know. I don't know how
like
the
or
last
like
time you saw
like
a woman with hairy legs. It's not that
you can't
much,
see it,
but
but
occasionally, yeah. And I want to point out. I just want to point out that the comment you just made did seem a bit. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what
it
I'm
seem a
saying?
bit what offensive.
Not offensive, but
Okay.
it did shine light on maybe the bias that you have that women should shave their legs.
So I don't think grooming can be compared to a woman straightening her hair or putting on a straight hair wig. I think those are two different things.
Okay, wait, pause. Can we look at what somebody said in the comments? They said, this girl looks half white. That's why she has nicer hair. Nicer hair. What is,
So that
what does
person
that mean?
so that is associated. They're basically saying that European hair looks better than black hair. That's kind of what they're subconsciously saying. I don't think
Yeah,
they get that.
that's
And
exactly what they're saying.
right, but we got to think about like what is nice hair. Like people equate nice hair with like looser hair. The tighter hair like mine, they don't call my hair nice hair.
Yeah,
So
which is wrong, obviously.
definitely, and we
Yeah.
got to get people away from that. But we also got to get women away from wearing wigs and straightening their hair. So, like, if your hair grows straight, that's cool. If your hair grows curly, that's cool. But the point is, be who you are and stop trying to be like somebody else. Like, because if you were locked in a room by yourself your whole life and you never saw anybody else, you would never have the thoughts to ever straighten your hair. But now you see Becky down the street, you see other black women doing it. So now you feel like you have to straighten your hair too. And I'm saying this is very bad, especially for little black girls, because they end up growing up with a lot of insecurities. What do you think about that?
I can agree, especially with your last sentiment. I can agree with that. I think that there should be representation. Women should be able to wear their hair however they want.
I
Black women
disagree.
should feel empowered
I
to wear their natural hair.
I disagree with women should be able to wear their hair however they want. I feel like they should wear their hair in the way that's best for them and the people around them. Because all black women are setting an example for somebody. I'm pretty sure you know a little girl in your life that looks up to you. So if you know this and she sees you wearing a wig and a weave all the time, she's gonna want to be like you. So then she's gonna also, want to put on wigs and weaves, and she's not gonna all the way feel secure in her own hair. Like, does that make sense?
That makes sense. However, I think if it's taken from a standpoint of I wear my hair like this sometimes because I want to, and we're allowed to do whatever we want with our hair.
Okay.
How would you like to wear your hair? Would you like to try it like this? Would you like to do your hair like mommy? Would you like to do it a different way? I think a lot of women who wear weaves occasionally or wigs do have their natural hair out. I can agree with you that it should be more of like a commonplace because there's no reason why a woman should feel like she can't wear her natural hair.
Mm-hmm.
But again, at the same time, you can't say that women who do don't love themselves just as much or aren't making it as a personal choice of like aesthetics or style, regardless of where that initial aesthetic might come from.
So I think it's more about frequency. When we see black women wearing wigs and weaves all the time, I would say most of the year, then it's a clear representation that they have some type of insecurity. Because if you love yourself, why would you want to cover up yourself all the time? Right? Unless you're religious and you have to put a scarf on because you're wearing a hijab, that's understandable. But a black woman putting on a wig, especially a straight hair wig that looks nothing like her hair, it shows that she either doesn't like herself, she doesn't like her texture, but there's clearly something wrong there.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. If it's constantly all the time and the only thing somebody wants to do, more likely than not, there's a reason that they're hiding something. I can agree with that.
Definitely. So
Yeah.
how do you think we get black women to get away from this? Because it's clearly an issue, and more than 70% of black women are wearing fake hair, wigs, and weaves today.
I think honestly, I do think that part of change of any kind is just time. But I also think that getting away from something that people currently accept as a part of their culture, a part of their self-identity,
Hmm.
is really just kind of like a counterproductive way to go about it. In the same way that if like you have a child, like if you have a child who's being disobedient or doing something that you don't like, the more resistance that you give, the more resistance that you get in return, I think. So, and that was kind of another thing I wanted to touch on is I personally, and I might be wrong, obviously I'm not there in person, but I don't think that going out, I mean, I know you're running a channel, but I don't think that going out into the public
Okay.
and I think some of the questions and how you pose them to Black women are more provocative and less solution oriented. So I don't think that necessarily the way to get Black women to love their hair and themselves and feel free to make that choice is to essentially like blame them for the situation that they're in this moment.
Well, we actually have to blame them just because they're adults now. Once you turn 18, you make all your decisions. we can't always blame the white people all the time for everything, because then we never get anywhere. If black women are always like,
I agree. We shouldn't, there's no, I agree. I don't mean that we should blame white people who are currently around today either.
so who do we blame?
I
Who's
don't
the
think I
fault?
don't think it's a matter of blame. Do you know what I mean? I don't think at this point, I don't think it's a matter of blame. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we don't have to
Elaborate
have,
a little bit on that.
yeah, there doesn't have to be in this moment a direct person or collective group responsible for the situation we're in, because we can't pin it on any one race or any one person. Just like you were saying, you might be able to say that moving forward, obviously it's everybody's own personal responsibility to grow and change, but the current situation we're in now, we can't blame on anybody. It's just like the steps moving forward.
So what did I say that was so provocative to black women, if you
I
remember?
think I think asking specifically, I might not word this exactly right, but why do you think so many black women want to be white? That type of vibe. Because in reality, again, you might be talking about this super deep rooted Eurocentric whatever, but on the most forefront level, of course these black women aren't trying to be white. That's not the intention when women wear a certain style. So I think posing that question, and there was one other, I forget exactly what it was, but there was one other statement where it was more of like throwing the bait out there, hoping that people would react. And I don't know if that's really changing minds either.
So the initial question is just to start the conversation, and then we get into the deeper meaning of the, black women wearing their natural hair, why they wear wigs, why they wear weaves and stuff like that. So people shouldn't get caught up on that first question, but it's just to open up the realm of speaking about everything, to be honest, because number one, for social media, you got to make things interesting. So
Which I
so
figured that was yeah,
yeah. So people will, actually
will
look at the
engage.
video. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because if you just sit there and you're like, "Oh my God, black women, you're beautiful," nobody wants to hear that. So you got to make it interesting. But a lot of the times when black women get upset with me, it's just because of how they react. I can't make anybody mad. I can't make anybody happy. They have full control over their emotions, so
Right.
they have to take accountability for that. Like, I ask everybody the same questions. Some people get mad, some people don't. So I really have no control over that. But then people say, "Oh, you hate black women, this and that," and I'm like, I don't. So you're saying what I'm doing is wrong in a sense? Is that what you're saying?
In the sense that I think that if you have a goal when approaching somebody, there is a right and wrong way to using tact with how you talk with somebody. But I could see the point that you should be able to speak as openly as you want, and how somebody reacts is their problem, which I agree with. But if your goal is to change their mind, then
Hmm.
it might be better to be not manipulative with how you talk with somebody, but more intentional, so that they're open to being led to a different resolution.
I personally think that we live in a gender feminist. Hold on, I think my camera about to die. Yep, there it goes. Hold on, real quick. Can you guys still hear me? Can you guys still hear me?
I can hear you. I don't know if they can.
Okay, cool. They could probably hear me still too. Let me just change my battery really quickly. But I think it died on purpose because they know I'm about to speak some truth. But I think we live in a gender feminist society where a lot of women just hate men,
Yeah.
because a lot of the things that I say, women have been saying before me for many, many decades. I'm not the first person, but as soon as a man starts saying things, now, okay, now you hate women, you hate black women, stay out of women's business, this and that. But I hear tons of women on the internet that say the same things I say, and women agree with them. So I'm like, okay, is the problem, is it what I'm saying, or is it just because of who I am? Do you get what I'm saying here?
Yeah. Yeah, and while that's like that's a whole different can of worms
Yeah.
for sure. Um, that I agree. That can certainly play a part in how you are perceived specifically.
So my question is, so you were saying it's about like what I'm saying. Is it really about what I'm saying, or is it just because of who I am?
Well, again, there you can say something. There's multiple ways to say the same thing. Do you know what I mean?
I
Like
do under I
like the
understand
way
that.
you're conveying information to me right now, personally, I wouldn't take it as I'm not offended or insulted, or I
Right.
don't feel any aggression, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't see aggression from you in videos either. That's not the issue. It's again just like the word choice in your approach.
So really, I'm brutally honest. So people don't love honesty because honesty can be mean, honesty can be nice. And if I'm telling you the truth, I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it or make you feel happy or just try to diminish the truth basically. So I'm going to tell you, hey, by you wearing this wig, you are acting like a white woman, and this is how.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna say, you know what, keep wearing the wigs, keep wearing the weaves. It's not a big deal, you know. If you need some time to get over and not be insecure, to wear your natural hair, you know, that's okay. I'm not going to do all that because black women already do that. There's tons of black women that already do that on the internet, and that is not working at all.
So you think that that will work?
Yes, in a sense, because I think more men need to be a part of the conversation. And by me making these videos, men get to see exactly what our part needs to be. So, number one, we don't need to date women who wear wigs and weaves all the time. If your woman wants to put on a wig, you know, a couple times a year, that's not a issue at all. But we shouldn't be dating these women. Um, Number two, we shouldn't be putting up with them wearing the wigs because they're going to be setting a bad example for future generations of black women that come after us. So I think when women just speak about the topic, men don't listen to women's videos about, you know, them talking about natural hair, but men
Mhm.
do listen to other men. So I feel like by me doing this, I kind of bring in men into the conversation, and now they can be leaders among their own women and things like that. What do you think about that?
I think that's a good point, honestly.
Okay, so
I can see that.
in your past, have you wore wigs and weaves and stuff like that?
I have not.
And why haven't you done that?
It's never really been a part of my experience, really.
And what is your hair type, if you know?
Um, like like a C3 hair.
3C hair. And what is your ethnicity? What's your background?
I'm half black and half white. My father was from the Ivory Coast, and my
Hmm.
mom is Swiss and German, um,
Mm.
which I think is really interesting. I've been like glancing over and reading these comments.
It seems like they were
I can
right.
tell that some of the people listening are not your followers, I would assume, with what they're saying, but
I haven't been reading the chat to be honest, so I'm not too sure. They might be, I don't know. But somebody did call that out earlier. They were like, "Oh, she's mixed." So they were right about that.
yeah, and with the whole nicer hair comment, which I thought was funny. Um, and I will say that for my hair to look like this, I mean, I have so much product in it and it takes a while. So it's not, I don't know how natural. And that was kind of another thing I wanted to talk about is like,
Mm.
there's a scale when it comes to natural too. And do you bring that in? Because some people would say that I'm trying to make my curls looser to look like more of like a Hispanic spin on hair, curlier, looser hair. I mean, you could get really specific with this stuff.
So I don't think there's a big deal with you styling your natural hair, especially in ways that don't damage it all the time. I do have a problem with black women who straighten their hair all the time because that actually causes damage and causes it to break off, and then in return now they want to put on a wig. So I definitely disagree with that. But if you're doing styles like that you're having right now, there's no issue with that at all. That's just like a it looks like a twist out, or maybe you like curl ironed it or something like that. I'm not too sure.
Okay. Okay. So if you feel that styling your natural hair is okay, it's just wearing wigs and weaves that are straight.
Wigs and weaves that are straight, and also straightening your natural hair and relaxing the natural hair as well.
What about wigs and weaves that are like curly?
I have less of an issue with that. I still don't agree with wigs at all because I think you should want to rock your natural hair, whether it's bald, short, long. It doesn't matter what it is. Because when you always put on a wig, then it promotes insecurity. Because then you start to like the way you look with the wig on, and then when you take it off, you feel like, or you feel less than, if that makes sense. Black women, what do you
I know.
say?
I'm
Black
sorry. I'm
women
reading right now.
will hate. Mm. What do you mean by that? And why do you, bro? Stop spamming that too, bro. That's too much spamming. We get it. We get it. We get it.
Anyway, no, but
Ban wigs. Yes, I agree with that.
anyway.
So wait,
um,
if I got with Trump one day to ban wigs and weaves, do you think that this will be a good thing overall for the black community?
good thing. I don't think I don't think control in any sense, especially controlling what people do with their hair through legislation, is a good idea. No, I don't think that would be good for the black community. Donald Trump dictating what black people do with their hair, whether it's weaves or not, I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, so
No.
I know there was like a beauty pageant that banned wigs and weaves. And there's like other countries in Africa that I believe they banned wigs. I don't know if I'm right about that. I gotta fact check that. But
Would
if
there be exceptions for people who want to wear a wig because they can't grow hair because they're going through chemo? There would obviously be exceptions to the rule.
um
Or
yes.
no, you think that people should embrace how they look, and if you got a bald head because you got alopecia, you better rock that bald head. Or is that
Yes.
different?
That is ideal. That's I always say that. If you have alopecia or some type of cancer, be bald and be happy. There are a lot of women that go bald when they get older and they're happy with it. So I think you putting on a wig is still you saying, "Hey, I'm insecure because I want everybody else to think I have hair when I don't have any hair." Like we need to stop promoting insecurities being hidden, and we need to promote people just being their natural self.
That might be the case sometimes. That is the case sometimes. And I know you said you're
But
brutally honest, but I
right,
feel like going up to somebody, sorry, going going
the
up to
dog trying to
somebody
get in
in
the
that
conversation
situation
too.
being like, "Dang, you're wearing that wig because you're insecure and you want us all to think you have hair." Like, I don't think that's going to change their mind. I think that's just going to make them feel worse.
Right. So I believe some force is needed because it's clear as day when I speak to black women, they're not going to give up their wigs. I even asked the black woman, I was like, if I gave you $1 million to wear only natural hair and never a wig or weave ever again, would you take the money? She said no. That is a clear representation that they are either A, addicted to the wigs, or B, they're so far down in their insecurity that they cannot give up a wig or a weave. And that's sad. Because,
That is
bro,
intense. That is sad.
why would you not take $1 million to never wear this fake hair again? Does that even make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
It
No, I
doesn't.
can see your point. I can see your
Yeah.
points there. Yeah.
So, okay, so that's why I'm saying we do need force, because if we leave black women to their own will, then they're going to continue the curse that the Europeans first put on them. What do you think about that?
That is something I haven't, that is a perspective I haven't considered. And part of me does not agree with that.
Okay. So
Initially, just
okay.
because it sounds as if left to their own devices, women wouldn't make the right choice for themselves, which is that kind of what you're saying? Like, is it, are you making it a gender thing? Which
Well,
maybe it is. I haven't thought about it, but you're saying left to Black women's own devices, they wouldn't make the right choice. So men need to speak up.
they wouldn't make the right choice with wigs. I'm not talking about all their decisions. That's another topic for another
But
day.
just wigs specifically,
Yeah, right now I'm talking about like fake hair because left to
because
their
it's
own
tied to
devices.
beauty. Is that why? Because it's tied to beauty and
I would
men.
say so. I mean, like, so for instance, back in the day, black men, we also wanted to be like the white man. Like back in the day, like people like I believe James Brown, he used to straighten his hair. We used to like do perms and relaxers back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, but we eventually got out of that. Black women are still doing it today. Like they're still straightening their hair. They're still putting on wigs that look like white women's hair. And it's like, why can't they get to the point where it's only just their natural hair?
Mhm.
Like why can't we get to that? Or do you have an answer for that?
I don't have an answer for that. And honestly, I feel that through our conversation, I've definitely changed my stance on some things, and it's like definitely a topic I feel needs more thought.
Okay.
Um because while I agree that I do agree that there, if this is the case, if women are feeling insecure, then that should definitely change. People should embrace who they are. I agree with that.
But
But I
mhm.
don't know if I agree with the fact that in order to embrace who you are, you can't do X, Y, and Z because it makes me think you want to be white. Like,
So I'm not saying that they can never put on a wig ever in their life, but a lot of black women talk about switching it up, but they wear fake hair most of the year. So how are you going to switch it up from fake hair to fake hair? That doesn't make any sense. Like it would be one thing if you're wearing your natural hair, all of the year. And then maybe once or twice, you want to wear straight hair or you want to straighten your hair or you want to put a wig on. That's totally fine. But when you're doing it all the time, I feel like that's where the issue is. There's a
okay,
clear level of insecurity
okay.
when
So
they do
you
that.
wouldn't ban it entirely because that's extreme. I can get behind
Okay.
this mediation, right?
Okay.
Maybe not entirely.
So I think for maybe 5 to 10 years, a 5 to 10 year ban
To
completely
reset
to
everything.
reset, and then after that, if they want to do things for like Halloween or they want to put on a wig just like here and there, that's cool.
Mm.
But when we see black women when they put on wigs and weaves, they always do it when they're going to an extravagant event, and I'm like, so you're saying when you dress up, you have to put on a straight hair wig that looks nothing like your hair? Does that even make any sense? Like, you're basically saying that for me to look good or my best to an event, I need to have hair that's not my own. So there's a clear level of you saying that somebody else, like white women and Asian women's hair, looks better than yours. And I think that there's a major issue there. Just like the people in the chat that thought you had, better hair because, oh, here my camera go again. um they thought you had good hair because of your genetics. I think there's an issue there as well. Let me change my
Oh,
lighter real quick.
yeah, I'd say you definitely have opened my eyes to a few things here.
Chad, do we like her? I think we like her a little bit because she's open minded. She's not very argumentative, and she's willing to reason, So I think wait, where can they find you? I feel like you should do like maybe hair content or maybe uplifting content for Black women.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hmm.
You can follow me at Homie Hope on Instagram. I don't post hair content, but I appreciate you having me here. And
Hmm.
I also appreciate you being receptive to my thoughts. I don't necessarily feel like you shot anything down,
Hmm.
but I feel like it was a constructive conversation. Um, and I just hope that if there is a scenario where you're getting some objections, that maybe
Hmm.
you consider approaching it a different way and see if people can hear you a little better.
Wait, what do you mean by that? So you're saying I should um calm down on the meanness?
Not that you're mean,
Okay.
but if you can acknowledge that women are resistant to what you're saying, then maybe you should change how you say it. Not that you have to, but it probably would work better for you.
Mm, okay.
Do you
Sorry.
know what I mean? Like if I want somebody to do something, I'm going to speak to them to get them to do what I want rather than to speak my own truth.
Okay. I also do think though, there's for some women um that I speak to, there's no reasoning with them at all. So really a lot of women that I speak to, the conversation is just for other people to hear. You feel me? So it's just to create a platform for people to, see how, Black women are thinking when they put on the wigs and the weaves, because most times I already know if I walk up to a random Black woman and I start talking to her about wigs and weaves, she's gonna be like, bro, who's this nigga? Why do I have to listen to him? So I already know, no matter whether I'm nice, mean, um, you know, I'm I'm somebody who she loves. If she's not secure in herself, then she's never going to listen to me. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
Okay,
Okay.
so I'm trying to get my camera back on because this joint is messing up. But okay, there we go. Okay, so
Well, I feel rightfully corrected on a few things that I thought coming into this today, which is not what I expected, to be completely honest.
I mean, when it comes to this, I do this. So there's nobody else that will be better than me in this subject. I'm not going to lie to you. But what was there anything else that you disagree with when you were coming across my channel or anything like that?
I think we've covered some essentials, and if not, what I've changed my mind on has kind of already made it obsolete at this point.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I appreciate you being here.
I
Let me see.
appreciate your time. You got
Definitely.
me.
I got you. All right. I appreciate that. Well, you have a great rest of your night. It was a pleasure having you
You
here.
too. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye. Chat, do we like her? I think we do like her. She was very respectful. Let me read some of these comments really quickly. Somebody said coward before. What do you mean by that? Are you calling me a coward or her a coward? Or like, what do you mean? The chat is losing hope. Hmm. Nope. You Black women need to get dragged. Now hit up Tommy Sotomayor and debate him. Um, I don't think that Black women need to get dragged. I think maybe you're just saying that as a statement so people will grab towards your or you're trying to grab towards attention. I think that's why you're saying that. But black women don't need to get dragged. Black women just need to realize who they are and realize that their natural hair is beautiful. That's what black women need to realize. It's going to take a lot to get them there, but that's just the first piece. Tell her to debate Tommy. I mean, she's not even the type of person where she's like disrespectful trying to debate. Basically, she came up here and she was very reasonable. I didn't even think she's like on that tip, so we like her definitely. I think what I'm gonna do, if anybody else wants to hop on, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. Otherwise, I think I will hop on TikTok and debate on there. Let me see. Okay, hold on. Bro, who's saying who cares? Let Tommy drag her. Shout out to you, Trey. You did good. I appreciate that. Bro, okay. You low key need to hit that link and come on and say why you want Tommy Sotomayor to drag this girl. Like she really did nothing wrong. Why does this subject passionate you so much? Oh, passionate. Okay, passionate you that much. So basically, this started out as a prank. So originally, my prank idea was to, because I did racist interviews where I would walk up to black people and I would be like, "Hey, what's wrong with the niggas today?" You know, stuff like that. But I had an idea to walk up to black women and ask them, "Why do black women want to be white?" By wearing wigs and stuff like that. So it started out as a prank, but then black women started giving me feedback like, "Hey, this is an actual issue. A lot of us don't like our hair. A lot of us hate our hair. Um, we don't consider our hair done unless it's under a wig or in a hairstyle." So when I started to see this, then I started to do my research on black women's hair. You know, why they wear wigs, why they wear weaves and stuff like that, because it's saddening to see so many black women that actually do not like their hair. And black women have some of the best hair. I'm not even going to cap to you. Black women have the best hair. And maybe that's subjective, maybe that's just a personal opinion, but black women have the best hair out of any race. You know why? Because when something is rare, it's more valuable, right? Just like gold. Gold is more valuable because it's more rare than sand. You feel me? So black women's hair is more rare because every other race has straight hair. Asian women have straight hair. White women have straight hair. We see this all the time. Even I'm not even trying to like. I'm not trying to be like racist or anything, but even animals have straight hair, bro. Black women or black people are the only ones that have hair that naturally goes up and coils up. And then you can manipulate it and make it look like anything you want to. But for some reason, black women think, okay, I need to get a hot iron and kill my hair and make it fall down. Does that make any sense? So it's very sad to see black women who think so lowly of themselves when really they have the best hair on the planet. Let me read some of these comments. Black men are nearly extinct in the West. Kobe Bryant was a prime example. All his wealth went to Hispanics, yet they are chasing their soil. Shaking my head. Um, Black people have hair distinguished from animal fur. That's true. That's true. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and hop off of here. Maybe hop on TikTok, do some debating on there. But I do appreciate her coming up here. She was very respectful. Um, it's 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 honestly so good, and it's also a breath of fresh air to see black women that are reasonable. Just because like right now in the media, a lot of Black women are getting a lot of pushback because you see most Black women out there, twerking in the streets, being ratchet, this and that. And when a Black woman actually has some sense, these are the ones that need to be wifed up. I'm not gonna lie to you. Now, I don't know everything about this girl though. So I'm not just gonna say because she was nice on one stream, she needs to be wifed up. But from how she presented herself right now, she was very respectful. So appreciate everybody for coming up. Um, I might have another debate lined up for tomorrow night. So stay tuned for that. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace to the Saints.